limitation is without precedent in proper pleading. The separate bill of particulars has become part of the particulars of the first charge of the charge sheet dated 11 April 46, and the particulars of the first charge of the charge sheet dated 17 April 1946. The prosecution should be bound and limited as to proof by the particulars as set forth in this separate bill of particulars. It is therefore requested and submitted that this phrase, without being limited thereby, be stricken from the separate bill of particulars dated 8 April 1946, and that the prosecution will be limited in its scope of proof to the charges therein set forth. Should the prosecution desire to go beyond the charges therein contained, their proper remedy would be to submit a request to the court, and with the court's permission, amend their separate bill of particulars dated 8 April 1946.
May it please the court, in order that the court may better understand the presentation of the evidence in this case, we will briefly outline the evidence and what we expect it to show. The offensive which is referred to in this trial was known to the Germans as the Eiffel offensive. To the Americans, it is more commonly referred to as the Battle of the Bulge, the Rundstedt offensive, or the Ardennes offensive. We expect to show that for this offensive there existed a general policy to spread terror and panic, to avenge the so-called terror bombings, and to break all resistance by murdering prisoners of war and unarmed civilians. In preparation for this offensive, which started on the 16th of December 1944, Hitler held a meeting of his army commanders at Bad Nauheim on the 11th or 12th of December 1944, where he spoke for some 3 hours. In this speech, Hitler stated that the decisive hour for the German people had arrived, that the army would have to act with brutality and show no humane inhibitions, that a wave of fright and terror should precede the army, and that the enemy's resistance was to be broken with terror. This order was passed on down through corps, division, and regiment. The 1st SS Panzer Regiment, commanded by the accused Piper, passed on this order to subordinate commands in words and substance to the effect that, quote, "This fight will be conducted stubbornly with no regard for Allied prisoners of war who will have to be shot if the situation makes it necessary and compels it," end quote. This order was read to subordinate commanders who in turn passed it on down to company commanders who likewise passed it to lower echelons and to the troops. And again others were told to bump off everything that came before their guns. All troops were warned that in the event of capture, the existence of these orders must not be made known to the enemy. That night the troops gathered around their campfires awaiting 0 hour and singing the song of blood and the long knives. It was the first time this song had been sung in the West. From these speeches and activities, the troops believed that they could disregard the rules of the Geneva Convention with impunity and that they could fight as they had previously done on the Russian front. The evidence will show that the 6th Panzer Army, which was commanded by the accused Dietrich, was composed, among others, of the 1st SS Panzer Corps, commanded by the accused Priest. That the 1st SS Panzer Corps was composed, among others, of the 1st SS Panzer Division, LSSAH, Leibstandarte Adolf Hitler, and the 12th SS Panzer Division, Hitlerjugend. The 1st SS Panzer Division, commanded by Monke, had as one of its elements the 1st SS Panzer Regiment, commanded by the accused Piper. This command of Piper's was also known as the Combat Group Piper. This combat group was Combat Group Piper. This combat group was